This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So calculated fields, as I told you, are always or you can say on a particular workday delivered field or on a particular business object in that. What are the fields? Calculated fields are created on that. They are not like creating any new field, but it's just like having existing workday field. You are making some calculations on it. Like there is no separate space or like separate field which is being created when you create a calculated field. Custom fields are something which is altogether different. Like let's say take an example that in Workday is primarily a US based application tool, right? So there is nothing called, let's say I'm just assuming that there is nothing called PAN number, let's say, in the system. So we'll create a custom field called PAN number, which will store the PAN number for all the Indian employees who are there in US if they want to keep a record of that. So that is what custom field would be, which is not being delivered by Workday, and but still you have to maintain some data related to that. That is what is called custom field. Calculated fields are nothing. They are not like creating a new field in the system. They are like using the existing fields. You're putting in some logics or some calculations and extracting the data in such way.
Okay. So the calculated fields we can create a calculated field on a custom field too, right?
Exactly. Calculated fields can be worked on anything.
Okay.
So whatsoever is there in the tenant, you can create calculated field on that.
Arun, I have a question on the function for single instance and multiple instance.
Okay.
Could you show us like 2 examples of single and multiple?
Okay. So if you see like a manager is a single instance field because for a particular supervisory organization there is only one manager, right? Or for an employee there is only one manager. But let's say dependents, they are a multi-instance field. The reason being a person can have multiple dependents related to, right?
Okay.
So now these single instance or multi-instance totally depend on like which particular object you are referring to. So let's say in this case, manager and dependents, let's say I'm referring the object as worker. That is the employee, right? So now for employee, what kind of data will represent whether it is a single instance field or a multi-instance field? So the manager for worker will always be one because for a supervisory organization, there is only one manager, right? So for worker, manager is a single instance field. But for worker, dependents can be a multi-instance field because they can be single dependent or they can be multiple dependents tied up to that particular worker. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Right? So this single instance and multi-instance, they're totally dependent on the object which you are talking about, for which you are looking into whether it is a single instance or a multi-instance.
Arun, let's say the same question, same what Sim asked, right? You gave an example for a organization. What is it called? Sorry, man. If you
supervisory.
Have what is that?
Supervisory organization.
Sorry, supervisor. I don't know how I forgot that. Supervisory organization has got only one manager, so there's a single instance, right?
Yeah.
If you take the dependence, right, the relationship between the business object, like the employee, the worker employee, and a dependent business object, it's one to many, right?
Exactly.
Right. So which does not, one to many in the sense what the one particular guy in the worker can have multiple dependents, or that guy may not have any dependents, or that guy can have only one dependent.
No, one to many is like 0 to many. That is suppose for worker,
zero
can be one to 0 to many. That is
right.
Either has 0 dependent or a one dependent or a multiple dependent.
Right. So because of that relationship, we are saying a dependent is the multi-instance, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Because if one guy has got only one dependent, still we say that it is a multi instance, even though it has got one.
Correct. It doesn't matter what data you have. It doesn't matter whether you have a data in that particular business of in that dependent object or not. But the field which has been configured in the system is that it can have multiple data.
And that's all, man. That's all. Thanks.
Yeah. So any other question? So till now we had learnt about the true false cal field. We had learnt about evaluate expression. We had learnt about format date. And we had learnt about arithmetic calculation. So today the first thing which I'll talk about, which is like a very key calculated field in the system, and the whole flow goes something like that. Now, if you remember, this is very important topic, guys. Like the three cal fields which I'm gonna tell you now is very important for any of your custom reports or integrations which you'll be building into the system. So if you recall, like the report which we had built on the worker and dependent part, right? So what you're doing, you are creating a custom.
Sorry to interrupt, but are you recording the session?
I don't know. It's not me who does that. I think it's recording. Yeah, it's recording.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't
Right?
hear that message.
Okay, but I just checked that it's recording. So what I'm saying is, like, if you remember the custom report we had created on that, the first custom report we had built, right? So what we are doing, we were choosing the worker business object, and then we were putting in like the first name, the last name of the employees, right? That is what we were something, and then we were changing the dependent business object and extracting like the first name, last name, correct? This was somewhat we were doing in the custom report, right?
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
suppose the question is like that, create a custom report where you have to fetch only the first child. Okay, the first child. That is, suppose if the customer, if the employee has 3 children, you have to only extract the eldest child. So the requirement is right, extract the eldest child from the dependent section and put it in custom report. Also, do not include employees who don't have the children. So this is my requirement. So what will I do? Can somebody put a guess? Not using calculated field. Can somebody do it directly?
What is the question, please? Read again.
So if you read this, you can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
So we have to extract the eldest child from the dependent section and put it in custom report. Also, do not include employees who don't have the children.
Yeah, you have to do not include the. Okay.
So I think
I'm
the
not-
data source will be dependent.
Wait. My question is, I'm not saying who don't have dependents. They can have a spouse, but I'm saying do not include who don't have the children, right? So there's very specific filtering criteria I'm referring to.
Yeah, you
Right.
should go for a sub filter, man, because it is on the. It's not on the. Right?
So how will you calculate and filter, Bala?
What?
How will you do this in filter? How will you do the filtering part in filter?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, man. I'm thinking loud. Sorry, I'm not using pen. I'm thinking loud.
2 minutes to think on it, because then I'll tell you the answer, but I'm giving you 2 minutes to think on it.
I think you need to do with some kind of aggregation or is exist, something like that, man. Is exist? I don't know.
Sorry, I missed, Bala. Sorry, I missed what you said.
There is something called exist operator.
Voice is breaking, Bala.
Yeah.
So any other guess?
So the relationship would be child, yes or no?
Okay, but will that work as a filter?
Um, so
But
yeah,
if we
I mean,
create
if you say relationship child, then it will filter out employees who have children.
are you sure, Seema?
If you're
But
asking it that way, I'm not sure.
but but this will
Because,
display employee record. If he
because
want to hide that employee also
right,
who
because
don't have
relationship
child.
is on the dependent business object. So if you cannot choose those dependent object fields in the filter part.
Yes, that's
So
correct.
Arun,
Right?
can we take dependent as a primary business object while creating a
But then your
report?
whole concept will be out, right?
What if you use lookup related value?
Okay, that's that's fine.
So, I mean, if we use lookup related value, then we can bring that field onto the primary business object then, right?
Hmm.
Okay, fine. That's the last step we will do in this. So before that, there are few steps. So you finally reach to, you can say, at the Mount Everest top without even climbing. So you use the helicopter and jump to that, right? Okay, no problem. So I'll tell you like why. I mean, there can be any situation in this. I'm just taking an example of dependent, but now here you have to think in the way. I mean, I would try to explain things so that it is understandable for you. So now think of it. If you remember the concept of single instance and multi-instance, right? So now
Right.
here, if you, first of all, you have to understand on the related business object are you talking about whether it is a single instance or a multi-instance,
Hmm.
Multi-instance.
right? Multi-instance means there can have different relationships in that. Let's take an example of dependent only. It can have multiple childs, it can have spouse, it can have father, mother, or anything kind of that, right?
Yeah.
Now, if I'm talking about specifically one child, what am I saying? I'm saying that out of all those instances, I have to extract only one instance,
That's right.
right?
That's right. Yeah.
Getting
Hmm.
getting it?
Yeah.
So for that, there is one calculated field which is called the extract single instance. What this calc field will do is it will go to your related business object, that is in our case dependent, and based on the condition we will create in that, it will extract that particular instance. Is that making sense what I'm talking?
What is the name of the calculator? What is the type of the calculator field?
It's extract single instance.
Extract single instance.
Okay. So what this how this calc field works out? This calc field works out is that first of all we have to tell for which particular object we are taking out the extract single instance calc field. So in our case, we are working on the dependent business object, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, in extract single instance, there is one more requirement which is called the condition. That is what particular condition you are putting in to extract the data. Now, if you remember, Seema, the condition which you had told that the relationship is equals to child, right?
Hmm.
So first of all, what Workday will do using this calc field, it will check, okay, the condition is that relationship is child. So first of all, it will extract all the childs from your dependent
Right.
database,
Right.
right? So suppose
Mm-hmm.
there are 2 child, 3 child, or 0 child, whatever it is, it will extract that. Then there is another thing in extract single instance which is called the sorting. So now, as I told you that we have to extract the eldest child, what will be the sorting for that particular instance?
Mm-hmm.
How can you sort your data to get the eldest child?
Ascending, descending, man.
Based on the age.
Yeah, descending age. Uh-huh.
Based on the age, you can sort it. So suppose you're sorting it on the descendant order. That means your first instance will be the eldest child.
Yeah.
No, when you sort it, your spouse also would come first, right? How you are eliminating the spouse here?
That's why I told you, Bala. For extract single instance, there is a field which is condition.
Acha, oh, okay,
Right?
okay, okay.
First of all, it will check the condition. It will extract only those instances who are
Acha.
passing this.
Right.
right?
Understood.
Based on the condition, it will do the sorting,
Ah.
right? And
Arun,
then, yeah,
if we are extracting multiple, let's say if employee has 3 children, then wouldn't it be multiple instance? Because we are getting three.
you are not, no. See, wait. My question is, you are not extracting all the instances. Out of those instances, you are extracting only one instance.
Okay, the eldest child.
Getting it? Yeah, you are extracting only one instance. If the question would have been extract all the childs, then it would have been like multi-instance extraction. So there is one more calc field which I'll cover. Like after this, I'll cover that. That is the extract multi-instance. That I'll cover later to explain this question. But for this particular scenario, you getting why I did the extract single instance?
Yeah.
Is that making sense to everybody?
Yes, it's very clear, man.
Right? So now we will do the sorting, and then on the sorting, we will tell which position we want to extract. So now suppose if you are doing it on descending order, we'll get the first position. If you are doing it in the ascending order, we'll get the last position. Is that making sense?
Yes. Can
Yeah, Arun.
another
Yes,
question,
right.
man? In couple of days back, when you were explaining about the report, I remember you told me one fact.
Yeah.
The primary business object instance will always reported whether the related business object record is there or not. Does not matter. I'm not creating any report with a filter or anything, just a plain report.
Correct.
Right. So the primary object PBO record, the instance will be there, whether that PBO has got any instance for RBO or not. Right. That's what you told me.
Exactly.
Right. Suppose now coming to the current example that what you are explaining. Okay.
Yeah.
So you are creating a calculated field which is called extract a single instance field. Right.
Yeah. Yeah, Bala. Can you all?
Yeah, we can hear you, Arun. I think Bala dropped out.
Yeah, I'm not able to hear Bala. Okay. So let him come. But till the time, is that making sense to everybody else, like Anand, Anil, and Seema?
Yeah, Arun.
Okay. So
Actually, the
now this is
query
how.
of Bala is Arun. The
Yeah.
query of Bala is when we put in a filter, it will not applied on say primary business object. So when we say extract single record, it will apply on dependent table, but the all the records of primary table will display in this report, right?
Exactly.
So after that, we have to put other filter which will filter only those employees who have a dependent.
I tell that.
Okay.
Don't
Okay.
worry
Arun,
about the
are you able to
filter
hear
right
me,
now.
Arun?
Yeah, Bala, please.
So can I ask the question or should I wait for some more time?
No, go ahead, Bala.
Okay.
It is for
So
this question only.
suppose if you're creating a calculated field with a single instance kind of thing, and
Yeah.
I'm dealing with the one particular instance of a PBO who does not have any RBO record. So that
Okay.
PBO record will be retained, or it will not be retained just because you are forcing the system to see at least one instance from RBO.
No. So see, right now we have not put in any filter in the report, right? So all the records will be there, irrespective of whether they have dependents or not. That's first thing, right? Right
Okay.
now we have not used any of the filters right now. Now suppose for the reports for which they don't have any dependent, this particular single instance will return
Hello? Hello?
a blank field.
No, you dropped me in between, man. Can you say it
You
again?
getting?
You know, you
Arun,
dropped.
actually, we
Yeah,
missed
just
middle. Can you please repeat it?
yeah. What I'm saying is, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah,
What I'm
you
Yeah,
are.
saying
Arun, go
is,
ahead.
forget about the filter right now. Okay. What I'm saying is that first of all, since the report is on primary business object called worker, it will extract all the worker data, irrespective of whether they have dependents or not. That's first thing, right? Now we are creating an extract single instance for all the workers in the system. Whether they have dependent or not doesn't matter because we have not applied any filter till now. Right?
Correct.
Now, if we are creating an extract single instance, it will work for those employees as well who don't have the dependents. Right? So what will happen when we'll run this calculated field for those employees who don't have the dependent, it will send a blank data. Like this cal field will be blank.
Okay.
Okay. Now we can use this calculated field because extract single instance is always created on primary business object. Okay. So since this is built on worker, you can put it in your filter that extract single instance is not blank. So you filter out all those records.
What did you say? The last statement is always primary business object. What did you say?
Yes, extract single instance field when you create. So you remember that every calculated field we create, we have to choose the business object at the first page itself.
Right.
So whenever you are creating a extract single instance, you will always choose the primary business object, which is the worker. Inside that, you will choose what particular related business you are applying for this calculated field. Right. So primary will always be worker. So now since your calculated field is on the worker, you can use it in your filter as well. Right.
So just to use a filter, that is the reason you are choosing your primary business object there, right?
Exactly, so that you can directly use it in the filter.
So it is not necessary that your business object should be your primary business object. Just because what would be the effect? Okay, assume that I don't have any filter condition. Okay. What would be the effect if I associate this calculated field to a RBO instead of a PBO?
Then it will not be. You will not be able to put any filter on that, right? It will be just like as you directly use the
I don't have any filter. Okay, I don't have any requirement for filter. Assume that. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I associate this calculated business fields with RBO instead of PBO, assume that I don't need to have any filter, then the report both type of report will give you the same output, right?
Correct.
And the reason why you are attaching this calculated field with the PBO just because you can enable the filtering option there.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that you can filter out the records.
Got it, man.
Right. Now, is this whole condition of extract single instance is clear?
Sorry, Arun, are you showing something on the screen?
Is it not visible? Okay, I'll just show. Is it visible now?
Yeah, now it's visible.
Now it is visible.
Yeah. So now is that making sense for this extract single instance, whatever I've written here, which is I've highlighted? Is that making sense for everything?
Yes, sir.
Can we do it real time, man, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I'll do that. But before that, I wanted to make you understand the flow so that when we build it, you know. Now there is one thing which is pending inside this, that we have to create the condition as well. Right? So now if you have to create a condition, you remember I told there is one calculated field which can build the conditions. What was that?
True or false, whatever, that is something like that.
So for any extract single instance, you have to create a true false calculated. Which
So
will tell
why you are building this, just because to filter out all the PBOs who does not have the RBOs?
No. Why we are creating? So if you remember what I did in an extract single instance, I told we put in the condition so that we can extract only those instances which are of type children. We are filtering out the spouse data.
Right.
So that means this condition is inside the single instance. It has nothing to do with the filtering of report. Forget about that. So for extract single instance, you have to create a condition which tells that out of all the multiple instance data it has, what kind of instance you have to extract from that particular object. So let's say for dependent, it can have multiple relationships, like whether father, mother, sister, child, anything like that. If you have to extract only the children data, you have to put in the condition, right? That I want to extract out of this multi-instance field, I want to extract only this particular records. Right? Just give me a second.
So then this condition, true or false condition, should be created before you extract the single instance guy.
Is that making sense? Why we are creating a condition,
Yeah, I
right?
understand the condition, but the condition has to be created first, right? Before you come to the
Exactly.
extract single instance.
Exactly. So
Right,
now
right.
there's one question from my side. That is, this true false condition field will be built on which business object?
Dependent.
Exactly. So now, you understood the flow now. That is, if you are creating an extract single instance, the extract single instance business object would be the primary business object, and the true false calculated field will be the related business object. Is that making sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, you ask others also, man. I mean, just I'm answering. Okay, please.
No, the
No,
platform is open for everybody. I'm not stopping anybody to answer, right?
we understand. Go ahead, Arun.
Is that making sense? So now, what will be
Yes,
the
yes.
condition for this particular true false field? Anybody else?
What is the name of the field? It's called spouse type or something like that.
Relationship.
Relationship
Relationship. That should be equal to
equal.
type, right? And that returns true.
So relationship will be a field which will tell that if relationship is child only,
Yeah.
Yes.
right? So we'll
Yes.
create a calculated field that relationship is child, and then we'll go to our instance, and then it will extract the data related to that particular child. Is that making sense to everybody?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, Arun.
Right? So now we'll go to
Uh,
the system, and then, yeah, please.
Arun, I have one actually confusion. Tell when we create a calculated fields, it will bring that particular column to a primary business object, right? Or
Exactly.
okay, right, right. Go
So
ahead.
I'll show you. Just don't worry about those things, whether it is a part of filter or not. Forget about everything. If I just ask
Okay,
about these two calculated fields, is that making sense?
100%.
Right? Forget about the calculator filtering or any kind of the data how it will come in the report. But how to create these two calculated fields? Is that making sense?
Yes, yes.
Right? So now let's see how we'll create these two calculated fields in the system so that we can move forward. So the first thing which I have to do is the true false calculated field I have to create. So the task is like create calculated field. I'll put in the name.
What is TF?
True false.
Oh,
So the type of calculate which I'm creating.
sorry, man. Very stupid question.
No problem. So
Hey,
this is the pure
Bala.
naming convention. I mean, for me, it's like I have developed for so many projects. So my naming convention always happens like the Workday standard naming conventions, right? So now I'm building this true false field on the related business object. So in our case, the related business object is dependent, right?
Yep.
Right,
And
yeah.
the type I'll use is true false.
Hmm.
So here, if I tell you that the field which I have to select is relationship, so I'll just type relation. So I'll choose, if you see, if you go to this particular object, so these are the calc fields which is already being created, forget about it. You'll only worry about the workday delivered. So what it is, the relationship of the beneficiary to the employee, for example, spouse, daughter, son, kind of that,
Mm-hmm. Right.
right? So I will
Hmm.
choose the field as relationship. Now operator is something like we do it in the like anything in the maths, right? So whether it is in the, so now we will talk about in workday, if it is like in the selection list means the comparison value which will write that it will compare it. I'll show you how, then it will make you more clear.
There is no
So now
there is no equal sign.
no, this is how you have to do it. So for
Hmm.
equals, there is one field which will be like, I think, equal to. So that will be great. So equal to will always work on the number part, right?
Acha. Oh, this is a character field. Okay.
This is the character field, right? So you'll choose in the selection field, and here you will see all the relationships in the system, right? Child, domestic partner, aunt, ex-partner, ex-spouse, friend, whatever it is.
Child.
Since we are
Child.
extracting the child, we are selecting as relationship is child.
How the comparison type is, it is auto-populated?
Yeah, that will be auto-populate. I'll tell you what is there in that. So this is the first calculated field which I'll create. That is this. Now here, if you see that one is value from another field, one is value specified in this filter. Now value for another field is what? Suppose you have, take this example in this, like suppose you have to use any other field. Right now you are just hard coding the value, right? That relationship is equal to the child. But you can choose any other Workday delivered field if it is having some data related to that. Correct?
Okay.
So, I created this true false calculated field.
Just to avoid a SQL statement, they have complicated the screen, man. Right. It can be done in a select statement.
So what happens is, like when you write the syntax, then there's not many things you have to worry about, like think of the real syntaxes and everything. Here is just a hard code. Just all the things are like hard coded. You just have to select out of it.
Yeah, configuration, right? I understand that.
So now we will create another calculated field, which is the extract single instance. Now
you do it the same thing.
No. There's a direct shortcut, right? If you click create cal field and open this, there's a direct shortcut button that create calculated field.
You need to take this in a one common way, man. If you just change it, I will become confused.
Okay. So again, now once you have created that true false cal field, you'll go for the again create calculated field, and this page will.
Now I understand.
So now I'm creating an extract single instance. I'm just putting in the name. I'm creating in the worker business object, and then I'm extracting the child data. Right now, since I'm creating extract single instance, as I told you, that my primary business object would be worker, because I want to bring that dependent data to the worker level itself. Right. So here I will choose my calculated field as extract single instance. I click OK. So now if you see, there's so many things which I'll cover now. So one is the source field. Now what will be my source field here?
Your child relationship, right?
No, that will be age. Yeah.
Source field would be
age.
No, that is for sort field, right?
Name.
So source field, from where you are extracting the data. So from where we are extracting the data.
Oh, dependent.
Exactly.
That will be the
right?
dependent data source. Yeah.
Exactly. So source field will tell where you are applying this all conditions. Is that making sense?
Yeah. Why the field? I don't know. Okay. So field is a business object now.
No, I'll okay. Let's just add dependent, and then I'll tell you. If you see, we had chosen this field, and it is under the related business object called dependent.
Okay.
So if you remember, I'll just recall you. If you remember, when we were creating a custom report, when you had changed the primary business object worker to the dependents, the source field you had chosen was dependents. If you remember.
Yes, right.
The source field is nothing but your data source.
No. So in every business object, you had all those fields, right?
Acha, keys. Okay.
And all those fields, those are called the fields. And this field is representing to the related business object, because we are creating our extract single instance for the dependents business object. Right? So the source field will be dependents, and automatically the related business object will be populated. Now, what will be the condition here?
Your
So the true false cal field which we had created.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yes.
And why this condition has come up here? The reason being that true false field which we had created was on the dependent business object.
Right.
Right. So so there is one shortcut which I'll tell you now before I further continue with this. Whenever you are having a confusion that what will be your true false field business object, just choose the source field here and you will understand like on what particular business object you have to create the calculative field. I'll just change it. Don't relate it with the examples. Suppose I have to extract the, I mean, you can say, suppose I have to extract, just tell me
Worker.
any other related business object for worker.
Okay.
Let's say organization. Let's say organization. I'm just saying an example. So suppose I have to extract the cost center data. Suppose I have to extract. So I'll see for worker all the assigned organizations, right?
Right.
You getting what I'm saying?
Yeah, Runal.
It is a key, right?
Yeah. So what I'm saying is like how to identify what will be the dependent, what will be the true false business object. If you're not directly able to understand that what will be my business object for true false, what you can do is create your extract single instance field, go to the source field. So suppose in one case, like we have to extract the cost center for the employee. So how we can extract the cost center of the employee? It's more like that employee will be tied up to so many organizations, right? Whether it is cost center, company, region, location, hierarchy, cost center hierarchy, maybe custom organizations, whatever it is, right? So my source field will be all the assigned organizations to the worker. Right? So if I choose it, if you see, then automatically the related business object field will populate, right? That is now the related business object is organization. So what will be your business object for true false field?
Organization.
Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Right?
So whatever true false condition is there in that particular object will be displayed in conditional. Yeah, right, Arun?
Exactly. So right now we are talking about the dependence. I'm just taking an example of the dependence only. So I'll put in my condition. Now inside this, like you see all the fields, these all things will be related to the fields which are under the related business objects, right? That true false will also be under the related business object. Now if I'm doing the age, like sorting as I told you will be done on the age. So now this age will also be under the related business object of the worker.
Right.
Right. So now how this 4 fields will work? If somebody can explain me how this whole flow will work here.
Yeah, I can explain if you guys want to. Or
Go ahead, Bala.
So wait,
Yeah.
Bala, I'll ask somebody else to explain this time, right?
Go. That's why I said let me listen this time.
Yeah. So I'd like anyone of you apart from Bala to explain the flow.
See, it will come on the related business object and check to whether whether the dependent object has a children. If that is true, it will go and get a age field. And when we say ascending, it will give a small number top and will concatenate it to worker object.
Okay. Okay, Bala, can you explain now?
Yeah,
If you want.
Explain from the beginning. So you first of all you need to have a conditional requirement to figure out whether that particular dependent is a child or anything else, right? Because the logic is first we need to figure out the child. Once you have a child, you need to figure out the eldest child from that particular slot, right? So the first calculated field will filter out everybody else other than child, right?
Yes.
But still, the first condition would not give you only one child in case if you have multiple children, right? The reason
Yes.
you need one more calculated field to filter out the rest of all, and you want the first guy, right? So that's why you go for a single instance, right? In the single instance, you will specify on which business object, on which business object, and the filter condition, and and you are going to filter out based on what field, which is age and ascending order. That's all you need to do it.
Correct? Is that making sense to everyone?
Yes, Arun.
So now, as I told you that we have sorted out. So
Arun,
what we have done
actually,
is
your voice is echoing.
somebody else is also speaking. But now I think it's fine, right?
No, it's fine. Yeah.
Now your screen is gone. Yeah, screen has come. Okay.
Yeah. So now what I'm saying is that in this, whatever we have done, so my sorting direction is ascending. So what will be the eldest child occurrence in those instances? It will be the last occurrence. Last. If it is ascending. If it is ascending.
Okay.
If it is ascending,
Okay.
last.
That option is also there.
It will be first.
Oh.
Right? So if it is descending, it will be first. If it will be ascending, it will be last. Correct?
Okay.
Now, there is one more thing which is called the specific occurrence. Suppose if I had to extract the second eldest.
Second, yes. Second eldest child or
Right?
third
So
eldest child. You can put it there.
Occurrence at the second. Right? Is that making sense?
Yes.
Right?
So
So in
Arun,
our case, like
these can be a parameter, Arun, because you are hard coding everything, right? In this case, you are hard coding as 2. Suppose if I want if I try to build a report, and that report will have a parameter called I want the third child, I want the second child, I want the fourth child. So is it you can pass a parameter instead of hard coding them here?
No, you have to do the hard coding itself.
Okay.
Right? So in our case, since we have to extract the eldest child, I'll just go for the first occurrence. Since I'm sorting it out on the ascending order. Descending order.
Descending
Is
order.
that
Yeah.
right? So
Yes,
now
sir.
what I have done is that I have extracted the eldest child instance. Complete instance I have extracted now. Right? Complete instance means every data related to this eldest child will come, whether it is a name, date of birth, or whatever data is being stored in the system. All those things will come under in this instance itself.
Yes.
Right? So now I will show you what I have done till now so that we can keep a track record of it. So I'll create a custom report as well and use these fields so that we can understand what is happening.
But still, we are not filtered on employees whose.
Forget about the filter right now. Forget about the filter right now.
Okay.
Totally forget about the filter right now. So I'll just create a custom report. So I'll just extract the employee ID. Now I have created that extract single instance on the business object worker, right? So I can use that calculated field directly on the worker business object, right?
Yes, Arun.
Now suppose the true false field which I had created, can I use it directly under the worker business object?
That is on dependence, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I have, so if I have to use that calculated field here, I have to change the business object from worker to dependent. If I have to use that particular true false calculated field also, I'm just showing taking it in here so that I can show you what sort of data is coming in each of those fields.
But generally, RBOs you will do it on the subfilter, right?
Yeah. So right now, not that's what I'm saying. Right now, I'm not using any filter or subfilter. Forget about it right now. Right now, I'm just showing what kind of data will come in each of these calculated fields
So
which we
you are
have
in the
created.
columns tab. You are in the columns tab. Okay, okay, man. I didn't see that.
Arun, can we have a brief description of that report anywhere in this report section? So what type of data is giving? What are the filter we added? Can we add that type of
You
detail?
can put
Okay.
it in the
Okay.
comments,
Yeah. Got it.
right?
Got it. Thank you. Yes.
So now if you click OK and run this report, so now if you see that right now, since I have not done any kind of filtering, any kind of that, so what it is showing that for this particular employee, the eldest child is Sheikh Ali.
Okay.
Right,
And
and it had, I think it had two children kind of, so that is why unnecessary these rows are coming, because I had used the dependent business object as well.
How the name
Getting
is
it?
coming and how the child name is coming?
Because I had used that extract single instance, right? So so this is not the name, Bala. If you see, the name is something like this, which is not an hyperlink. This is coming as a whole instance. So if I open this, it will have all the details of this particular dependent.
No. I understand. Can you go to the report definition one more time? Go to the report
Yeah.
definition. Report definition, not the report output.
I'm just opening.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. Now.
Okay, come down the last legal name. Okay, that is coming from
That is
work.
for worker. That is for worker. For dependent, I'm just putting in the whole single instance on the report. That is
Can you
now,
go,
if you see,
can you
that
go,
is
can you go to the definition of that guy? The definition of that CF?
so there is no definition, right? Because we created this instance.
Right, I just want to see. Can you go there? What is there? Now,
No, I didn't.
how this guy is getting the name? I missed that part.
No, because
Can you go-
in Workday, what happens is, like, whenever you create an instance, everything is covered under the name itself. That is for worker, the name would be the instance. The worker name would be the instance. For dependents, the name would be the instance. And that instance will contain everything. If you see dependent
No,
ID,
no, no, no,
relationship.
Arun. No, Arun. Can you please edit that CF again? Worker child data.
Okay.
Edit it.
Just give me a second. Yeah.
Right. In that, you said source field is dependent condition is this one, age. Where do you specify? I want the name.
No, that's what I'm saying, Bala. Wait, that is what I'm saying. When you use this instant, when you extract an instance, right? Instance means everything will come as an instance. That is, it is an hyperlink. Hyperlink
Acha.
means that it will contain all the. So if when I clicked on the Sheikh Ali, you see it created a whole page for him,
Mm,
right? Now
mm.
from this instance, we will extract what sort of data we want to pull out.
Okay. Okay.
Getting it? So this is a complete instance. It has nothing to do with like any specific requirement we have. Now we will move further, and then your doubt will be cleared. So now suppose my requirement was extract eldest child. So now I'll change this requirement a bit. First name. So what are things which are there? First name and date of birth. Suppose if I have to extract the first name and the date of birth for this particular eldest child. So till now what we are getting is the instance, right? We are not getting any specific value out of that instance. Now we have to extract these two values out of it. Get it? So now it will change the look and feel for your things. So now if I have to extract the value from this extract single instance, what I have to do? So there's one more calculated field which we'll use to extract the data from the instance. Right? And that calculated field is lookup related value.
That's where SEPA comes into picture. She said
exactly. That. Right? So now what this lookup related value will does? What it will do is it will take the instance as an input and then will extract the particular field you want to pitch out of it. Right? So in that instance, if you see, there is one field called name, which is Sheikh Halim. Then there is one field called date of birth. So we have to extract these fields out of those instances. So if you have to extract the field from those instances, you have to create the lookup related value calculated field. Getting it?
Yes.
So we will see how it is done, so that makes more sense for you guys. So I'll create a calculated field now. I'll make a lookup related value for child. So now we have to create two lookup related values because we have to extract two fields. One is the name and one is the date of birth. Right? So how many fields you have to extract from that instance, that many lookup related values you have to create in the system. So since here we have to extract two fields, we will create two lookup related values. So first is the child name. And this again will be on the business object worker because our extract single instance is on the worker business object. Right? Function would be lookup related value. Now what will be my lookup field here?
Lookup field, what about age, right?
No, what will be my lookup field for lookup related value? It will be the instance we have created.
Lookup field.
So now if you see that we had extracted the single instance from the system, right? So using this instance only, we have to extract the fields.
Right.
Right? So this instance would be my source field for lookup related values. So that will be my source field. And now the field I have to extract is the name. Let's say the name. So the first name I have to extract. So my first calculated field has been created, which is extracting the first name of that eldest child. Why? Because this instance is only sending me the eldest child instance. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Right? Now another thing which you have to create is that extract the date of birth as well. Right? So I'll create another calculated lookup related value calculated field. The same things I'll do, the same things, just few things which will changes. Now date of birth.
And business object is
it's always worker, reason being the extract single instance business object is also worker. So now again I'll use the same extract single instance which I have created, and the return value I would need is date of birth. Click OK. So these two calculated fields I will use in my report.
Where is your report?
Yeah, this is my report. So I'll add in the fields here. So I'll remove this dependent. So first I'll use that first LRV which I had created, which was the child name. Then I'll add another. Which is the date of birth. Now if I run my report, now you see the difference that this was an hyperlink, right? Because this was an instance. Now we have extracted particular fields which are coming as a text.
So you still maintain that that guy, the single instance guy, is still there as a part of the report.
No, we'll remove it. We'll remove it. I just wanted to show you the difference.
But right now it is a part of the report, right?
Yeah, right now it is a part.
Yes.
So now, let's say, now since you see that even those employees are coming for which there is no child data, right?
Yes, Arun.
So now I'll use the filters to show you how this filter works now. I'll remove this ESI because it's not a part of our calculated field. Now I can use any of these two calculated fields as a part of my filter. Reason being that is it is on the worker business object. Correct?
Yeah, got it. Yes.
So I'll go to my filter.
You bring down all the data on worker business object.
So now I'll say CF underscore LRV. The child name,
Not equal
and
to
I'll say
blank.
is not empty.
Not empty. Yeah.
Oh, this is what I said, not empty. Okay.
It's not blank, right?
Mm.
So now when I run my report,
Hey, got it, man.
now if you only those employees are coming who are having the child data. Getting it?
Yes, Arun.
Yep.
So
Little
this
bit
is
complicated,
the,
but we understand.
yeah. So what I'll need is like I'll just leave it for now. Just go through this recording once again. Okay. Go through this recording once again because I have not created it in the the tenant which you're working on. So this is a fresh tenant where these data is not there. You can go to the recording and do the same thing, replicate it and play with it in your tenant.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, Arun.
Right? So is that all made sense? Whatever we have learned today.
Very good, man.
Right? So now let me ask you a question that why do we need the lookup related value and extract single instance? The only reason being that first of all, if we have to extract a particular instance out of multi instances, we go for extract single instance. And why we use the lookup related value so that we can bring that data on the worker level and we can apply it directly on the filters. Right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, Arun.
Fine. So that is all I think.
In reality, right, when you go and work in Workday,
Yeah.
if you work on a report happen to be right, you see a lot of calculated fields, right? In the report in general.
Exactly. So I'll tell you one of my experience where I had to create around 110 calculated fields. And each calculated field had around 3-4 sub-calculated fields inside that.
And let me ask this question, man. Okay, how do you suppose you are running a report and the report is not producing as you expect? You want to debug it. So, is any you have any debugging tool so that you know the the intermediate value for your calculated fields and all those things?
No, there is no debugging tool. You have to manually check. Like, you go to the employee page and you'll see what kind of data is stored.
So you cannot run in a debug mode and see what records are coming in and how the value is getting passed. That kind of facility is not there.
No. So you can directly run, right? If you run this report, this is a debugging run, you can say, because unless it's not.
For example, you have a report with heavy calculations, and one of the calculation happened to be, happen to have a zero in the denominator, right? Those things can happen, right?
Exactly. So
Right.
So parallelly, I can tell you the parallel one example we do typically is like we create another custom report where we will test only those calculated fields. We'll not add all the fields in that. We'll keep on creating our calculated fields, add one by one there, test whether it is working fine, and then put it in our main report.
Right. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So that's all. Try to replicate these things. Have your doubts clear related to extract single instance, true false fields, lookup related value. Try to play with like what other related business objects you can use in the extract single instance. Try to think of some scenarios, and then tomorrow we can discuss more. Because now,
can you give one more example as an exercise to work on?
I'll think on it and I'll share it through mail. Right?
Okay.
I'll think on it and I'll share it through mail. But one example I can think of is like work on the organizations and get the cost center. I know you can directly extract the cost center, but think of it creating a lookup related value and extract single instance.
No, otherwise you can do this also, right, Seema? I don't know. Find the first female kid kind of thing. So probably you need to have a couple of more calculated field to figure out whether it is a girl child or not. Then you need to figure out the first girl child.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
Is gender is a column available? How do I know if it's a girl or boy?
I'm just checking. I don't know, but I need.
Any photos there? So we can figure out from the photo picture.
I will just check whether the gender is there or not for the dependence. Let's see.
See, in the interview, right, if they ask, tell me the field name of a particular thing, right, that's where we will flop, man.
No, but see, Bala, I mean, it's a fact that you directly cannot remember all the fields, to be very frank. I mean, even I cannot.
At least they would expect you to know that what is the data source for that, right?
And that is why I'm telling you that if you practice, everything will be for you.
Bala, this is first time we are seeing imply information page, you know.
What was that?
So, I mean, the more practice you do, the better it will be for you to have all the data.
Yeah. Excuse me, man. Sorry.
Something where I can get the dependent data directly. Yes.
So the interview question will definitely consist of identify the name of a business object and stuff like that, or it will be like technical questions.
More on the logics, Bala. So what they will ask is like, how can you extract the eldest child from your profile worker page? So then you have to tell them, okay, first of all, we'll create a true false field based on the dependent object, and then we'll create the extract single instance, and then we'll create the lookup related value field.
Right.
So typically 80% of the question. So see, that also depends on the interviewer, right? If the interviewer is not having himself the logical knowledge, then he'll go for the theoretical part. Right? I'll show you one example. Like even after my 5 years of experience, when I applied for one job interview. Like they were pushing me to go for the interview. So when I applied, they asked me like the interview question. If I ask you like for a 9 years experienced guy with 5.5 years in Workday, you will not ask what is the full form of EIB.
EID?
Yeah, so the integration which we'll be talking about in the future. So nobody will ask you the full form of EIB, right?
Okay.
Getting it?
Yes.
I mean, who remembers the full form of an EIB?
Right, right.
So that also depends on the interviewer as well, that how much he knows and what sort of logic he wants to put it in front of you. But 80%, if the person is well aware of the Workday technology, he will never ask you about the particular field. He'll always ask you about the logics, how to build it.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I mean, figuring out the business object is okay. You can figure it out. It's not a big deal.
Right? And see, these are things are like practice. I mean, whenever you are getting a tenant and whenever you're working on a requirement, you can explore all those things, right? These are not something which you have to remember. You only have to remember the logics to build it. So now to the scenario which you have told, there is a field called gender in the dependent business object.
Okay. Easy to form a question.
Yeah. So now now the scenario is extract the eldest child who is a daughter. Right?
Right.
So that is kind of thing which you have to replicate in the demo. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sure then. Work on it. I would like to see that everyone like get into this so that even I feel that I explained it in a better way that you all understand. Right?
Yeah, then.
Sure then. See you tomorrow, guys.
Tomorrow we'll have class.
Yeah, that tomorrow is Friday or Thursday? Tomorrow is Friday. Anyways, we are connecting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.